Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Welcome in. Thanks so much for being with us. Frank is on vacation this week, but I am Hayes Carline, joined with JJ LaSilva. How you doing, man? You doing good? Good weekend?
I am. Very good weekend.
Yeah, what an unbelievable sports weekend. One of the most iconic American sports moments that we've had in our lifetimes, and we'll certainly talk all about that. Jamal St. Cyr expected to join us. Jamal is a sports anchor for News4Jax, so looking forward to having Jamal in here as the show plays out. But Frank off all week. He's going to enjoy some spring training. Hacker will be with us Tuesday through Friday, so it's going to be a fun week, and we've got lots to get to today. We're going to go to Indianapolis in our next segment. The NFL Scouting Combine really gets going in earnest tomorrow with a number of head coaches and general managers speaking. The Jaguars are not doing that this year, so they are not up there, their brain trust, and they will not be meeting with reporters from Indianapolis. So, but Ryan O'Halloran is up there. We'll get the latest from Ryan on what he expects for this week. The drills on the field don't start until Thursday, but normally this is an interesting week to kind of see where the club is at. And, we'll have to do a little bit more guesswork this week since Liam Cohen and James Gladstone are not going to be answering questions, for the fans. So anyway, that'll be what we'll do on our next segment. We're going to get into Gator basketball. Obviously, the Gators starting to move up in the human poll. They're up to 7th in the AP, and that's sort of where the metrics have had them for a few weeks now. But Florida basketball really moving in the right direction, and we'll get into a number of Jaguar topics. Javonte Williams re-signed with the Dallas Cowboys, running back coming off a 1,200-yard season there. How does that affect the ETN decision that Gladstone and company will have? We'll certainly get into that, and we're going to talk all sorts of men's hockey because, I mean, what a morning. JJ, were you locked in?
No, I didn't watch it, actually.
Really? Okay. Well, it was unbelievable. Obviously, as you guys know, like, I'm not a hockey guy at all. But it was remarkable television. I mean, it was an unbelievable game. The U.S. takes a 1-0 lead, as I'm sure you're aware. A phenomenal goal to get them going by Matt Boldy. And then Canada ties it up. Canada really dominated the game for the most part. Missed a wide open net at one point in the game, and then the Americans are able to pull it out. Jack Hughes, that you've now seen, get his teeth knocked out. In return, just a few minutes later with the golden goal, U.S. wins in overtime. Connor Hallebuck just unbelievable in goal for the Americans. So it was really unbelievable because you don't often see a television network stay with something for like 40 straight minutes. But that's what this was. Like, you get the game-winning goal, and it did happen pretty early in the overtime. It occurred with about a minute and a half into the extra session. So obviously, I'm sure the NBC was planning on a long overtime period, and they were ready for that. But I'll give them credit. JJ, it was one of the best hours of television I've seen executed. I mean, the story is obviously incredible. Emily Kaplan pointed this out on ESPN.com on her story. The Americans had not beaten Canada in a best-on-best game since 1996. So this isn't obviously an upset on par with the Miracle on Ice. These teams are closer, but Canada certainly was the favorite. And, obviously we've seen, the picture all over of Jack with the teeth busted out and the American flag draped over his shoulders and, holding a triumphant fist in the air. And it just really, it's gonna resonate for decades. It will be one of the most iconic sports moments of this century. And we don't, obviously it's I can't even think of the last time, that I would put something in this category. Now, part of that's because we're never the underdog in really anything. I mean, I wouldn't count the Ryder Cup. I don't think the Ryder Cup gets enough of the country behind it. Plus, in that, you're playing in a continent. This is different. This is nations versus nations. And obviously, with it being the Olympics, it doesn't get much bigger than that. But I mean, it was there were moments in the celebration as a casual at best hockey fan that were some of the best human interest moments that we've seen. As you guys know, if you watched it, Johnny Gaudreau, this amazing player, was tragically killed in 2024. He probably would have been on this team, and they win the game. They're posing for the pictures. This is after the medal ceremony, and they bring out Gaudreau's two young kids for the picture with the team. I mean, I had tears rolling down my face. I mean, it was extraordinary, the human emotion that went into it. It was one of the most riveting sports broadcasts that I've seen, and one of the most riveting sports stories. I mean, in 1980, I was 4 years old. I mean, I don't have any recollection of the Miracle on Ice. Jamal St. Cyr here, sports anchor from News for Jacks. First off, welcome in. It's great to see you.
Hey, appreciate you having me with you, Hayes.
Absolutely. I'm not a hockey guy.
I'm not either, but I mean,
what a Sunday morning experience that was.
I mean, come on. Look, I grew up watching Miracle, the movie, and that was the thing. Now, this was different because obviously this was not the underdog story that was. This was kind of two juggernauts going head to head, but the finish, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I'm not the biggest hockey guy. I'm sitting there just watching it. I know the rules, but you're not catching me on a random night just sitting at home like, here's the Tampa Bay Lightning or whatever it may be, unless it's like the Stanley Cup or something like that, right? So for big moments like this, I tune in to a little bit of hockey, but this was great. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, a gold medal on the line means a lot to a lot of people. Team USA, I think we can all kind of rally behind that a little bit, but I grew up watching the movie. I grew up watching Miracle, and for the first time since 1980, I think it's just cool to be able to see.
It was spectacular television and a spectacular story. I mean, that team will be remembered forever. Again, it's not
History.
on par with the Miracle on Ice in terms of the lopsided nature of the matchup. But again, and I give Emily Kaplan credit for pointing this out in her story on ESPN.com, the U.S. had not beaten Canada in a best-on-best matchup since 1996.
Right.
I mean, so it wasn't like, it wasn't like it was maybe as 50-50 as, we were led to believe maybe,
Right.
in terms of the history at least. Just a remarkable, perfect American sports moment, and really capped off an Olympics that sort of had everything. It started with the Lindsey Vonn injury, and
Oh, man.
she updated her condition today. She, lucky to still have the leg, according to what she's gone through, what she updated people about today. So it started with Vonn crashing, and that was such a disappointing story. And then you had the male figure skater that was the big favorite for the Americans that, fell and didn't, hit his potential. He's young, so he'll have another opportunity. But as the Olympiad went on, you started to have these incredible stories, women's figure skating gold, Schifrin back to gold, and then to have the women's hockey team and the men's hockey team, just a spectacular Olympics that sort of included the range of human emotion.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Like you said, it started with that Lindsey Vonn thing where everybody was kind of, I think hers was the whirlwind one from the beginning. She gets injured. Everybody's like, she's going to miss the Olympics. She's like, nah, I don't need an ACL. Going to go out there anyway. And then there are the good reports from the practice runs. And then obviously there is the way it ended for her, which was terrible. And, like you mentioned, great that she's going to have the leg. But she gave it a go, which is what you want to see. So it starts with that and kind of ends with the high of the hockey team doing it. And that's history. We don't know it. First time since 1980. We don't know the next time that you're going to get one. So this is something that a lot of people are going to remember. You can always rally around. The Olympics are always fun, whether it's winter or summer, because I think most people you can rally behind cheering for your country, cheering for people that are trying to bring home gold medals. We all know how tough it is for athletes to win that, how special it is for an athlete to win that. And I think most sports fans can get behind watching greatness. And honestly, that's what Olympic athletes are. They're showing that, I'm not just the best. I'm the best in the world. Legitimately, at this time, I am the gold medal winner, which says that you are the best.
It was incredible. And I thought NBC did a great job with the broadcast. I mean, we were talking about, they went like 35 straight minutes after the golden goal was scored. They kept it on. We're going to show every second of this celebration to the point where when they finally went to commercial, I was so wrapped up in it. I went back just to see how long it had been since their last commercial. And it was before the overtime period.
Had it really been that long?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Now, the only, we said earlier, I wonder if because the golden goal was scored in the first 90 seconds, that maybe they were planning on a full 20 minutes and then maybe, so maybe that helped it.
Probably.
But it was amazing. They captured everything and it was, I thought, extraordinary. The Kurt Russell, before the game, Kurt Russell had there's probably a TV term for it. It's the kind of the script that the guy reads. It's the John Malkovich before
the cold open. The cold open. Yeah.
Perfect. And so that was fantastic. And it was just amazing. And for it to be the 46th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice, just an unbelievable story. So congratulations to both the women's and men's hockey teams for bringing back gold and all the Americans that got gold in Milan. Just unbelievable Olympics and unbelievable finish. When we come back on the Frangie Show, let's go to Indianapolis. We're going to talk to Ryan O'Halloran, the columnist of the Florida Times-Union. We're going to get his thoughts. Ryan's a big hockey fan, so we'll certainly get his thoughts on the gold medal game from yesterday. But more, let's talk about the Jaguars. Obviously, Cohen, Gladstone, we will not hear from them this week. That's really disappointing, I think, for you guys. I don't think any of us care if they're holding a stopwatch watching a 40. That's their prerogative. But it's always good around this time to get a sense of where the club is as we get a few weeks away from the start of the new league year. So we're going to have to fill in the gaps. Ryan will certainly help us do that. When we come back, you're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's more than great drives, stellar shots, and perfect putts. 1010XL is your radio home for the Players' Championship with live Southeast Orthopedic Specialists leaderboard updates. Teed up by
Dynamic Drives and Designs,
Wingstop,
and North Florida Medical Centers.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
All right, folks, our private equity fund just bought another one in Jacksonville.
Love it. Let's make sure the website says locally trusted.
Should we change the number to a Florida area code?
Nah, just pretend we're local.
Meanwhile, Holland Sons Plumbing didn't need a rebrand to stay local. We're family-owned, veteran-operated, and proud to call Jacksonville home. So if you want a plumber who actually lives in your neighborhood, not in a boardroom, call Holland Sons Plumbing. Holland Sons Plumbing. Locally owned, nationally unbothered.
All month, 1010XL brings you the stories of African-American leaders who built the bold city. One achievement, one breakthrough, and one act of courage at a time. Black History Month is turned by Instant Keys.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
The riders who face Daytona Supercross are built different. Withstanding the most unforgiving and grueling track is not just a point of pride, but of pure grit and determination. This battle can only be felt in person. Witness the action unfold at the only place in Florida where the biggest names will battle it out under the lights. Daytona Supercross is built different. It's built for champions. It's built for fans. The gate drops Saturday, February 28th. There's only one place to be. Secure your tickets and trackside access at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, Green for Life.
Duval Fence is looking for the best in fence installers. Check out DuvalFence.com right now and fence in a great job opportunity. From estimates to installers, they're looking for you right now. Log on to DuvalFence.com for all the details. Equal opportunity employer.
This is Frangie for the farm in Okefenokee. Can you imagine owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Imagine enjoying fresh produce from the garden, fruit from the orchard, meats from the smokehouse. Every meal is a true farm-to-table experience all year long. Belong to a place where your family can choose nature over screens, spending their days feeding animals, picking berries, and fishing in the farm's pond. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Hacker here. We're rolling towards March, and for most people, that just means better weather and more golf. For me, 2 years ago, this time of year was a life changer. Honestly, it felt like a lifesaver. That's when I started Awaken 180, and in 1 month, I was down 35 pounds. 2 months, 50 pounds. And no, it wasn't magic. It wasn't some miracle shot. I tried the meds. I tried the cutting carbs. I tried convincing myself I was fine. None of it stuck. Awaken 180 wasn't a trick. It was a solution, a real plan, a coach who didn't let me drift, and the weight just melted off. That's the only way I can describe it. And here's the best part that matters. It stayed off. I'm not bracing for it to come back. I've kept my 122 pounds off for well over a year, and it stayed gone. Have 35 to lose? Cakewalk. 50? Simple. If March for you is just another month, fine. But it could be your turning point. It was mine. Awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation this week. He'll be back with us on Monday. But Jamal St. Cyr is here, sports anchor for News for Jax. JJ is here. I am Hayes Carlin. Let's go out to Indianapolis and welcome in Ryan O'Halloran, columnist of the Florida Times-Union. Ryan, thanks so much for your time. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. Good to join you today, where it is frigid in Indianapolis, but fortunately everything's inside.
Yeah, that is nice. It's a great downtown. It's nice here. It's cold, but it's really sunny out. So I think by the time you get back, it'll be warm again. I think we just have like a couple of days of cold, and then hopefully it'll be beyond us. Before we get to the Combine and the Jaguars, Ryan, what an unbelievable hockey game yesterday morning. Where did that one rank for you in terms of, I know you're a hockey enthusiast, but what a perfect American sports moment that we got to enjoy yesterday.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. It was one of the highlights of one of my sports life. It's going to be one of the top memories. And I mean, the O'Hallorans of North Dakota are a hockey family, and going all the way back to the 70s, where University of North Dakota, with my parents going there, taking us to games, going to North Stars games, wanting to write about hockey. And this wasn't a miracle, but it was an upset. And the U.S. hung on and say, get the game to overtime where it's 3-on-3, which think 7-on-7 football. That's pretty much what it is. And anything can happen. I expected there to be a quick overtime, which it was. And, the U.S., I thought, had the edge in goaltending coming into the game. That came through. They killed the 5-on-3. They killed the late penalty. And then they get the goal in overtime. And, a great win for this Hockey USA program. These guys have been playing together for over a decade, all the way going to the under 18s. And, Emily Kaplan, of course, naturally incorrect. US beat Canada last year in best on best.
Well, there you go.
It wasn't the final, but that 96 was a World Cup, and that was best of 3, and the US beat Canada that year. So I remember watching that. But just a great moment. It's not going to drive TV ratings in this country, but it will drive participation, you would hope, because this is an in-person sport. It's not like football where it's better on TV, but just a great day for hockey fans like myself.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Obviously, we know the Jaguars are not participating in having Liam Cohen or James Gladstone speak with reporters in Indianapolis, and unfortunately, they're not speaking here locally. So obviously, we got to play a little bit more of a guessing game. But before we get to that, just give us the lay of the land being up there. Obviously, A lot of the head coaches, not all of them, but most of the head coaches will talk tomorrow, and pretty much all the GMs are talking tomorrow. Give us a lay of the land of sort of what you've got your eye on up there in Indianapolis this week.
Well, you divide it into a couple of buckets when you come to this event, and the least important thing is the on-field workouts. I'll be home on Friday, so I'll have those on TV if I really have nothing to do. But the next couple of days, right now there's 20 coaches and 27 GMs on the schedule for tomorrow and Wednesday. Valuable resource. Talk about their free agents, their coaching changes. You ask them about the Jaguars. How do they back up a surprising season? A lot of coaches have been in this position. And then the other one is going to be, okay, what's the future of Max Crosby? I think we're going to get some clarity on that this week if him and the Raiders meet, his camp. And I think he wants to be moved on, and he's a very tradable contract, and the Jaguars should be at the front of the line with their offer. And then lastly, with this prospects is you look at running backs and you look at defensive tackles. You look at edge rushers. Not a great defensive tackle class from a pass rusher standpoint. And then from a running back perspective, the Jaguars may be in the market for one if they don't re-sign Travis Etienne. So a lot of different tentacles to this event, and it's a valuable event. It's not a useless event like some people think. I mean, there's value for people like us to be here.
Ryan, you mentioned Travis Etienne and his future with the team and some running backs that are up there in Indianapolis. Let's just say the Jaguars get priced out of the Etienne market. Are there any running backs up there that you think might, scratch the itch or be able to fill that void for the Jaguars in the backfield?
Yeah, I mean, you divide it, Jamal, you divide it into two categories. And that'd be one thing I'd want to ask James Gladstone this week is, okay, does it matter how many carries the guy has on his odometer if he's healthy? You have a couple guys here like at Penn State who had 600 carries in college. I mean, to me, that's way too many because they're carrying 300 times in high school. But, the top guy is Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. He's not going to be there in the second round, so he'll go in the first round. But you look at a guy like Katron Allen from Penn State, Jonah Coleman from Washington. I like Emmett Johnson from Nebraska, 5'11", 200. He was fourth in FBS last year in rushing. So and the other thing, Jamal, it's a little bit of a horses for courses. Do you want a guy who can play on third down right away? Do you want a guy who can, if he can run on first and second down, we can teach him how to pass protect. So those are a couple of the names. But it's interesting this weekend that Javonte Williams re-signed with Dallas. That's the first domino to fall. I don't think financially that's in the same ballpark as what Etienne's going to get, but it is noteworthy because there had to be a first back who signed, and Williams was the one.
I thought it was really interesting because it's the Javonte Williams deal. Correct me if I'm wrong. 3 years, $24 million. Is that what was reported?
Yeah,
That's it.
And 16 guaranteed. So it's probably the first 2 years guaranteed at signing. So let's say that's an $8 million average. That's a hell of a contract for Javonte, who I covered in Denver, coming off that ACL a couple of years ago. That's where if I'm Etienne's camp, I say, well, my guy's healthy. He only missed the first year, but and then the other thing about the running back stuff is New England just cut one of their guys today. So there's going to be other backs who will hit the market. It's all a matter of, okay, what is the Jaguars' price point, and what do they feel would be overextending themselves financially?
Yeah, that's the tough question, and that same question goes for Devin Lloyd. Ryan, if same kind of perspective, if Devin walks, how tough is it to kind of get a feel for the type of linebacker that the Jaguars are going to be looking for to replace him? Are they looking for a guy that's a clone of Devin Lloyd in a sense, or are they looking for a different kind of guy that maybe Coach Camp has his eye on?
Yeah, I mean, I think the convenient comp is going to be say, okay, who can do what Devin Lloyd did, which is 5 interceptions, but he also blitzed a ton. I don't think there's an in-house week one starter right now if Devin Lloyd leaves. I mean, they got a couple of young guys, but they improved themselves. But where this linebacker crop really picks up some momentum is in the second round. Anthony Hill from Texas, Jake Golday from Cincinnati. And then later in the third round, he's 6'1", but the kid from Pittsburgh, Kyle Lewis, had a great Senior Bowl week. Tremendous production in college. So, if you're the Jaguars and you want an off-ball linebacker playing next to Foye, is it okay? This year he's going to play 65% of snaps with a vision toward him replacing Foye in 2027, and play every snap. So, and also, what's he comfortable with? Zone coverage, man coverage. Does he blitz? How can he play the run? Is he big enough to play the run? So, a lot of different considerations when you're drafting a linebacker.
Ryan, I'm assuming Cesario and Ryans will talk at the podium for Houston.
Yeah.
What do you think about where the Texans are and what their offseason might look like?
Well, they have the same problem that a lot of teams do. They can't block. And, they threw a lot of darts at the board last year. I mean, they signed Cameron Robinson for crying out loud. And nothing worked, as you saw. And, their run game, Mixon never hit the field. He probably, who knows if he'll ever play again. So if I'm the Texans, it's great that you have a great defense, but look where it got you. It got you the divisional round. So you have to, what is their plan on offense to get better and get C.J. Stroud to play as well as he did as a rookie? Because he's really been down the last 2 years. And then, that playoff game was an all-time stinker.
When you look at it, Ryan, what's the biggest need that the Jaguars have to fix during the offseason?
Well, I think they'll yell at me for this, but you got to get more than 32 sacks in this league. 17 games, and granted their pressure rate, whoever judges that, was higher, but you still have to make an impact. After Josh Hines Allen, who do you really trust as a pass rusher on this team? I don't have an answer for that. They mean it's not in house, so I think that's a key thing. But this has to be a defense heavy draft because you're looking at safety. What are their options? Eric Murray coming back maybe for another year. Then after that, they probably move on. Corner, if they don't re-sign Buster Brown, then you have to find a starting corner to play opposite of Travis Hunter. So I think defensively there is a lot of work to be done by this administration.
What kind of conversations do you think that you'll be asked about? Because obviously people know who you cover now. How big of a talking point do you think Travis Hunter's future will be in Indianapolis this week when clubs are curious about and reporters are curious about the Jaguars?
That'll be one, and that'll be a quick one. Defense first, defense second, defense third, and maybe a little bit of receiver, just out of necessity. James Gladstone said that 3 days after the season. The next question is going to be, wait a minute, the GM and coach aren't even here? They haven't won a playoff game yet. Drum roll. That was funny, guys.
Well, it's it's one of those things that if Les Snead doesn't go, they're not going. I mean, it's clear that the whole last offseason was a love letter to the LA Rams, and it's clear that whatever Les Snead does is how the Jaguars are going to operate. Which is their prerogative. Yep. I don't think any of us care if Gladstone and Cohen are sitting there with stopwatches as 40s are being run.
No.
But it's like, that's fine if you're not going to go to Indianapolis, but at least meet with reporters in Jacksonville so that fans are used to getting some sense of where the club is this time of year. I thought it was a huge mistake. It doesn't win or lose you games, but it just your fans are excited about your product. Why wouldn't you talk to them?
Yeah, a couple things on that. And Hayes, like we've talked about for years, we're just a couple of country bumpkins here. We're not national guys. We're not cool enough to get these exclusive interviews. But the workout part I don't care about. But the last couple of years when I covered the Bills, I did a behind the scenes after the fact about the draft process. Talked to both their assistant GMs about each pick, and the word they used a lot was exposures. How many times could they get in front of a draft prospect? Is it Senior Bowl? Is it a combine interview? Is it a top 30 visit, private workout? And they said the more exposures, the better, because anybody could put on a show for one meeting. Well, if you're not meeting them at all, how do you know what makes this kid tick? How do you know about his football IQ? That's where I think is the Jaguars. I would like to know what their rationale is in explaining this. Hey, right, wrong, or indifferent, it's up to them to figure out what the right process for them is. But it is interesting that they are not going to really have any of these kind of exposures that a lot of these other teams here that they believe that are important.
Ryan, I know they've kind of reworked the draft process a little bit, and James Gladstone's brought in some folks, some of the stuff from the Rams. Do you have any insight on just how drastic of a change it was from comparatively before when they were getting, I guess, more exposures, as you kind of put it, as opposed to now where they have a little bit more tech stuff, where they're putting some of the information in these computer systems and tracking stuff in a little bit different way?
Let's put it this way. I asked last week, who's even coming here? Who's running point? I couldn't get an answer. I mean, maybe they'll call me and say, here's a stopwatch. So they definitely have, they have all their medical people here. So they're doing that. But, what is the role of, is the assistant GM, are they in charge here this week? What kind of meetings are they having? That kind of thing. So, that's one of the things that I like writing about, that I think I'm going to hit a brick wall with this administration, is explain to me so I can explain to the fans, how do you grade a player? How's it different than the previous regime? Did you have to teach your scouts a new way of evaluating players, a new way of assigning a grade to them, if you even do that? Do you grade it by round? Do you grade it by starter, backup, practice squad level? So there's a lot of unanswered questions about how they go about this, and it's an important draft. They don't have a first round pick, but they have 11 picks, and they have so much unproven from last year's draft mostly because of injuries. So it is an important time for this Jaguar team.
You talked about the Texans. Give us a sense about the Colts. I'm assuming the main storyline this week will be the Daniel Jones free agency / can they get a contract extension done? And then for the Titans, obviously Saleh steps in as coach. What do you think will be some storylines coming out of Indianapolis and Tennessee?
Well, I'll start with the Colts, and Jones is the number one. For his, if they tag him, it's $47 million, which is fully guaranteed at signing. I mean, if it comes to that, they probably have to do that because there's not a lot of other options out there. And also with the Colts is okay. Was last year's collapse all because of Daniel Jones, or or just were you not good enough? I probably think it's some of both. As for the Titans, I sure as heck know what I'm going to ask Robert Saleh about, and it's about the Jaguars coach. So, I've known Saleh since he came to the Jaguars in 2014, so I'll get a kick out of that. But the Titans probably started over a year too late, but they think in Cam Ward they have a quarterback worth building around. And I tell you what, they made the best coordinator hire in the league this year, Brian Daboll, because you have one guy who really says Brian Daboll helped him, and it's the guy who won the MVP last year, and that's Josh Allen.
Yeah, without a doubt. Ryan, what's coming up on Jacksonville.com?
A couple things each day once we get rolling. We're going to talk to. There's some Florida guys here. The only thing is, there's a lot of guys who transfer from the Gators. So I think I was going to ask these kids, what was wrong with UF? Does it start with a Billy and ends with a Napier?
Yeah.
And also, there's some guys here who played for Buster Faulkner, the new UF coordinator. We have a bunch of local kids here, and then we'll try and find some Jaguar angles. So we'll get rolling probably about this time tomorrow on the website, and then in the print edition Wednesday through Sunday, and then come back and then we'll be really knocking on the door of free agency.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Ryan's going to join us on Wednesday at 5:20 as well. So again, we'll catch up with Ryan in about 48 hours as the combine by that point will be well underway and get his reaction to what comes out Tuesday and Wednesday. But Ryan, man, thank you so much. We certainly appreciate it, and some great insights in that men's hockey. What an incredible achievement for those guys.
It really is. And thanks, guys, for having me. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
All right, sounds great. Ryan O'Halloran joining us live from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis as the NFL Scouting Combine gets underway in full tomorrow. When we come back on the Frangie Show, let's switch it up and talk a little college basketball. The Gators continue to sizzle. They are up to 7th now in the AP poll. We're going to get Jamal's thoughts about what he's seeing out of this Florida Gators men's basketball team. We'll do that next. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Hey, Scarline here for Atlantic Infinity. I am loving my new QX60. It is marvelous, and right now you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months. And every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Do what I did. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or visit the showroom near Atlantic in St. John's Bluff.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Dr. George Barry, your local orthopedic surgeon. In the wintertime here in Jacksonville, it does get pretty cold, and sometimes you wake up with aches and pains in your shoulders and knees. Don't forget to stretch and stay mobilized so these joints don't stiffen up. And if that doesn't work, you can see us at Barry Orthopedics, where we can give you the treatment that you need.
Be sure and check out the expertise from Dr. George Barry and the entire staff at BarryOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. Big Chief Tire makes getting new tires easier than ever with the Big Chief credit card. There's no annual fee, low monthly payments, and great promotional financing. Plus, you get free flat repairs and rotations, even $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. I love how simple they make everything at Big Chief Tire. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com to apply for the credit card and let Big Chief help you get back on the road with confidence.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is served by Tandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Jacksonville, it's official. Men's professional soccer is back with the USL Championship. Your Sporting Jacks Pro Soccer Club kicks off its historic first men's season on March 7th, bringing fast, physical, world-class soccer back to the First Coast. This is more than a new pro sports team. It's world-class soccer played on a national and international stage. Be there from the very beginning. Season tickets with seats starting at just $10 per match. On sale now at SportingJacks.com. Sporting Jacks. Pro Soccer. Pro Jacks.
Flame Broiler, the Rice Bowl King, is turning up the flavor with new char wings. These wings are charbroiled, never fried, grilled to perfection for a big taste without the grease. Grab them as a 3-piece or 10-piece side, or make it a meal with a 6 or 8-piece combo, served with rice and a drink. Order pickup or delivery today from any of Flame Broiler's 5 Jacksonville locations, or call 904-619-2786. Flame Broiler, bold flavor done right.
Something new is swinging into town, and you're invited. Pine Royale Golf is celebrating its grand opening, February 27th from 11 to 3. Come tour the property, enjoy free limited play on the Trackman driving range, plus giveaways, contests, and free snacks. Dress in your best funky golf style for photos and prizes. Take a shot at the $500 hole-in-one challenge. It's golf, games, and good vibes. Search Pine Royale Callahan to learn more.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
I'm starting to realize being a homeowner isn't all upside, Jason.
I mean, it does give you a place to live.
Yeah, but now suddenly I need to know the names of all the people I need to look after my house.
Like who?
Like if my air conditioner breaks in the middle of the heat wave, I need to know who I call to fix it.
That's me. You know me.
But what if my water heater dies or my toilet backs up?
That would also be me. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
Okay, fine, but what about my duct cleaning and my water filtration and my sewer drain? Where am I going to find all those guys if something goes wrong? I'm just a guy with a house and a dream and...
This pair of sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing is the only name you need to know. Our club members even get 2 free visits a year, so you know we're there when you need us.
Well, that's cool.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
And Boogie Flan throws the lob. Lee gets it up and in. Just flipped it off the glass with the left hand, and he got the roll. Corey Chest trying to grab the loose ball. It's Chinyalu who ends up with it in his hand. Clavshar throwing the lob. Isaiah Brown with the flush.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday, but Jamal St. Cyr is here, as is JJ LaSilva. I am Hayes Carlin. Let's talk about that Florida basketball team. 94-75 win at Ole Miss. Gators now 21-6, 12-2 in league play. And Jamal, really, they looked great shooting the three, which we haven't seen. How good do you think this team can be?
11 threes against Ole Miss. 11 threes. If this team can get hot from behind the arc, Hayes, I mean, this is a team that can make some noise in the postseason. That's been the one thing that's kind of been missing all season long, especially after what you saw last year. Everybody was kind of used to Walter Clayton Jr. and those guys making some of the big splash shots, but this was a more gritty Gators team. They were doing the dirty work inside, playing tough defense and winning games. But you keep watching that and you say, if they can't get hot, they can't knock down shots, teams are going to start to adjust. I think it was Auburn that really clogged the paint on them and just gave them fits because they couldn't shoot. And Auburn forced them to shoot, and they couldn't do it. If this team can get hot, if they can keep knocking, if they can give you 11.
Oh, yeah, they're unstoppable.
Who's going to beat them?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, can you get hot? Can you get something out of Boogie Flan? Can you get those guards rolling and knocking down some of those perimeter shots? And if you can, this is a team that can make another run.
Without a doubt. I mean, Chris Beard, we knew he'd have a good plan. He's a really good coach. Ole Miss had struggled. They've now lost 9 in a row. But you knew that they'd, at least schematically, they would take something away. It was just a question, what would they choose to take away? And he did go with the Auburn plan. He was like, we're going to pack it in. We're going to slow down Chinelu, which he did. But it just didn't matter because Condon was unbelievable. He scored 24. Houck scored 20, and they both got going immediately. And then that three-point shooting, you have Clavzar who hits 4 threes, Xavier Lee with a double-double, 11 points, 10 assists. So, the plan, I think, for Ole Miss was, like, we're just not going to let Ruben Chinelu dominate us and go for 13 points and 17 rebounds, which is great. But I thought Florida did a good job of showing how they've grown since that Auburn loss to say, okay, if that's how it's going to be played, we've got other guys that can step up. And if you're going to give Alex Condon looks against a 6'5 defender at 6'11, he is going to dominate you. And that's what he did.
And that's how most teams should play the Gators until they can consistently prove they're knocking down those shots. That's how teams should absolutely play them. Ole Miss did everything exactly right. That's the format. And that was the scary point after that Auburn game where I kind of looked at it and said, our team's going to basically try and replicate this format. Are the Gators going to start seeing trouble? Because once you see this, you put it on tape, somebody's going to copy it. And that was the thing. But now if they're knocking down these shots, if they can keep doing this is a team that already checks all the other boxes where it's going to be tough they're going to be a tough outcome March because they play good defense. They can score down low. They can rebound. If you're knocking down those threes, man, they're checking all the boxes. Why not? Why not make another run?
And the thing, really, the only thing I think that was a little disappointing from the performance was the 19 turnovers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they shot magnificently well. I mean, they were 57.1 from the field, 50% on threes, again, 11 of 22. If to your point, if they get that, no one's beating them. And they were great at the foul line, shot 86.4% from the free throw line. So the turnovers were a disappointment. They out-rebounded Ole Miss by 15. They led for 34 minutes and 52 seconds. They just are destroying teams during this win streak. But this week it gets interesting.
Yeah.
They go to Texas on Wednesday. Texas is a bubble team. They're going to desperately need the game. Texas can score. They're not great defensively. They're I'd say kind of a poor man's Alabama, and that Florida can easily score 100 Wednesday night, but Texas could score 101.
Right.
So, so it's Florida's better, but can they rise to the intensity of a team in the final few weeks of the season that can cement its NCAA berth by beating a team like Florida at home? And then Saturday, you've got the game that probably is going to decide the SEC regular season title is Arkansas comes in. Florida still has a 2-game lead. Arkansas is really the only school that I think has a real path to catching Florida. But so it's a huge week for Todd Golden in terms of 2 big challenges. Game day will be there Saturday morning, which will be great in Gainesville. And then the Arkansas game starts at 8:30 that night.
Yeah, look, this is a huge week for the Gators, and the games just get bigger from here on out, right? That's just kind of how this thing works. The closer you get to March, and the deeper you get into March, if you're still playing, the games just get bigger. And this is what you kind of want to see from this Gators team, is how they handle that pressure in those big moments. Because while some of these guys that are playing big roles were on the team last year, they weren't the guys that in the big moment the ball came your way, right? So now this go around, these guys are the ones that are going to have to take the big shot, that are going to have to be, all right, this is the big moment. I know I have to go and have my best game. And that's what you have to see. That's what Todd Golden has to figure out. Does this team have the clutch gene? Who's your guy here? And are they ready for these big stages? Because look, that Saturday game's huge, but you got big games right on the other side of it that aren't far away. And if you're going to get to the point where we're talking about a realistic repeat, they just keep getting bigger.
Without a doubt, it's going to be a lot of fun. Great stuff. I'm intrigued. You asked O'Halloran a couple of questions. I want to ask you in our next segment, and we're going to switch it to Jaguars now for a good bit. Is obviously this is a big week in NFL circles with the scouting combine. You asked him about Etienne and Devin Lloyd. When we come back, I'm going to get your thoughts on how important you think retaining those two, are, if you think it is important, and how much of a priority you would put on it. We'll do that next. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Jags, Gators, high school heroes. 1010XL covers it all. The 1010XL network is now streaming on YouTube and all your favorite social channels at 1010XL.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Hi, I'm Laura Renstrom from The Players, and we're proud to support the Boys and Girls Club on their mission to equip Northeast Florida youth with the skills and tools they need to reach their full potential. 15 days till the Players.
Nate Bargatze. It's a lot to have two dogs, because you gotta open the back door and let two dogs out.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. 5-star Veterans Memorial Arena, February 26th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, company mascot at your service.
There are two important steps to installing the perfect garage floor. The two-stage coating application, sure. But nothing is more important than preparing the floor. Our team uses diamond grinding machines to grind your floors to a smooth, level finish. Only then can we...
Hold on! You grind garage floors with perfectly lovely diamonds!
No, Chester. We grind floors to perfection using the very best ugly diamonds. Too ugly for jewelry, but perfect for the grinding pads we use to prep the surface.
Perfect preparation and application. Now that's a perfect marriage.
Ugly diamonds?
Check. Perfect preparation?
Check. Smooth, gorgeous, gleaming floors that really catch your eye? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
We certainly appreciate our friends at the Best Bet. So much fun being at the Best Bet. And we look forward to hopefully getting back there soon. Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Hayes Carline here, along with Jamal St. Cyr and JJ LaSelva. Jamal, how long have you now been in Jacksonville?
Since 2019. Got here right before Minshew Mania.
How about that?
Yeah.
You've seen some trials and tribulations.
The ups and downs. The ups and downs. My first Jags game, I got here the first day. My first week was the week before training camp, so I had like no time to figure out Jacksonville.
Baptism by fire.
Went straight into the Nick Foles hype.
Yeah.
And then I remember the first home game. That first year I shot the games, and it was so hot. That was one of the times where I think they had ran out of water at the stadium. Fans were walking out sunburned. I'm on the field.
Classic.
That's it. I mean, this was my introduction to what it is on game day.
Yeah.
And like I'm watching guys that have been shooting the Jags or in Jacksonville. They're tapping out at halftime from the heat, and I'm like, I'm hot, I'm dying, but I guess this is my first thing. I got to go back out here and finish this game.
You're just thinking, this is how it ends.
That's exactly what I was thinking. No, I was riding the high because Nick Foles threw a touchdown to DJ Chark, and Chark caught it right in front of me. And I'm like, I got the shot. Oh, no pressure. I got the thing. Okay. Nobody told me that Nick was on the other side of the field with a broken collarbone laying there dead. I'm like, I got the shot. We're good. Everything's good. I can exhale a little bit. No, all bad. So
how do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy living in Jacksonville?
Love it.
Okay,
absolutely love it. Yeah, Jacksonville's great, man.
You were from, where'd you come from?
I'm from New Orleans.
Okay.
I'm from New Orleans. Mom lives in Atlanta now. I had bounced around a little bit. I was over in Texas A&M country, Aggie land in Texas for a little bit. But before I came to Jacksonville, I worked in Chattanooga, Tennessee for about 5 years.
Okay.
And then made my way down here. So I was in Titans land for a little bit on the other side before coming down to Jacksonville.
That's great. And I mean, obviously the Jaguars are playing well. We've got the Players Championship coming up. I mean, it's a great time to cover sports here.
It is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the high school football scene has exploded here in the area. I mean, high school sports are off and rolling right now. Teams basketball playoffs are going, girls and boys, and soccer still rolling. Some teams that are chasing it. I love the high school sports side of stuff, but I mean, the Jags being good, that's always fun. And, we got the Gators who just won a natty. So, and who knows, maybe we get a chance to chase and follow them for another go round. So, look, this is a good time to be in Jacksonville sports. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, without a doubt. You mentioned to Ryan, you asked him about Etienne and Devin Lloyd. Let's start with Travis Etienne. How high of a priority do you think he should be for them?
I think you got to set your price. If I was picking between Devin Lloyd and Travis Etienne, I'm keeping Travis Etienne. But that's just if I'm picking between the two. If I'm picking between Buster Brown, Travis Etienne, or Devin Lloyd, I'm picking Buster because there's a huge gaping hole at corner, and I feel like you can find a running back. We kind of talked about it when Ryan was on. Look, running backs are going to pop up on the market. It's going to shift. Javonte Williams, the Cowboys kind of owed him some money because he came in and blew up for them. And look, if Travis Etienne gets a bag somewhere else, Travis Etienne gets a bag somewhere else. But set your price and then go and get a stopgap veteran guy and draft you another guy and let him fight it out. Whether that's a Tyler Algier, who probably won't cost a whole lot because he's never really been the guy who can come in and fight with Tootin.
I like him a lot. I'm glad you mentioned him.
I love him.
He's a bruiser.
Runs tough. He's just never had the chance to be the bell cow.
Yeah, and when he ran for like 1,100 yards as a rookie, and then they drafted Bijan.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great call. I think he'd be a fantastic addition here.
Falcons fans were complaining that they were taking Bijan off the field and giving the ball to Algier too much because he's that good.
Right.
And I mean, so is Bijan.
Yeah.
But Tyler Allgeier's that good in those crunch time games. There's a couple. I think back to when the Falcons were in London and I was watching the end of that game. I forget who they were playing this year, but they're giving it to Allgeier and he's running tough through guys. And that's to me, in my mind, a guy like that is the perfect complement for Tootin. Tootin's the lightning, bringing the thunder. And that's what Tyler Allgeier would bring. And I can't imagine he's going to be a guy that's going to break the bank.
Right. I completely agree. Yeah, I think that would be. I think they're going to make I think they're going to. Etienne, I think, is going to play somewhere else. Ultimately, I think he'll just, to your point, I think he'll get more money than they're willing to spend somewhere else. But I do think they'll address it in free agency and they'll probably take that Dallas Cowboys model of pay a guy like Javonte Williams a couple million and hope that you get an incredible bargain.
Hope it works out. You already have Tootin, LeQuint, and then somewhere late day 2, early day 3, you add another running back to the mix. Let them fight it out. That's the best way to do it. And honestly, I think we have to rewire our mind to looking at free agency because we're looking for deep cuts now. James Gladstone's going for the Eric Murrays of the world, like really good football player, not a really high paid football player when it comes to like safeties around the league. We're going to have to go and hunt for those kind of guys that are turning his eye. And Eric Murray, to that point, came in and played really good football. Dennis Gardeck was one of my favorite free agent additions.
Absolutely.
And I was asking people when they signed him late, I was like, who's this guy? And they're like, oh, he was really good in Arizona. He was like, somebody comped him to Dewey Wingard. He was like their version of Dewey Wingard in Arizona. I was like, all right, we can do with that. We can make that work. So I think we're going to have to hunt a little bit for those kind of guys that Gladstone's going to go out and last year he was saying raise the floor, but these guys who he feels like are undervalued that he can bring in and then try and address the rest of it through the draft.
What do you think happens with Devin Lloyd?
I think he's gone. I wouldn't pay him. Personally, I wouldn't pay him the contract that I think he's earned. He's going to get a big contract from somewhere, but for me, the 1 year of production, we've seen this movie a little bit before from Devin. Remember back as a rookie, he starts off his career gangbusters, AFC Defensive Rookie of the Month. He's on the bench 2 months later. Like he's been this like pendulum swing guy. The highs are high and the lows are kind of low too. Yeah. I mean, even last season, he gangbusters to start the year off. Right. He kind of got banged up a little bit and then quieted down and kind of disappeared a little down the stretch.
Yeah.
So I would be terrified to give him a big contract just because what happens if the pendulum now swings the other way and now he's heavily paid.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're both gone. It's going to be really interesting to see how the Jaguars approach it. Again, the new league year, March 11th, so getting close. When we come back on the Frangie Show, we're going to stay on the Jaguars. We're going to talk a little bigger picture with Jamal, get his thoughts about the Baselli, Gladstone, Cohen brain trust, what he has seen out of them in the first year, expectations moving forward. What are fair expectations for this coming season? All that coming up. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
That's why I came up with this little beauty. What is it? It's
1010XL.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service.
Instant Keys comes to you.
Jacksonville, Nimnick Buick GMC is kicking off tax season with prices that are better than ever. Frank Frangie here. Are you looking for a dealership that actually makes car buying easy? Well, at Nimnick, you'll find unbeatable savings, a huge selection of Buicks and GMCs, plus flexible financing that fits your budget. Whether you're looking for a new SUV, a work-ready truck, or a certified pre-owned, they've got you covered. Backed by trusted service and transparent deals. And the best prices in Jacksonville, NimnickBuickGMC.com, or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Patrick Young here, a.k.a. the Big PY, and you know I love my Florida Gators. Now you can hear my Gator basketball instant reaction following each Gator Hoops game. Look for my takes on the social channels of 1010XL. Brought to you by VanguardSportsLeagues.com.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Don't miss your chance to see LPGA Tour Stars of Tomorrow competing at Atlantic Beach Country Club March 5th through the 7th. It's the Epsom Tours Atlantic Beach Classic presented by Access Golf, and it's the first stop on the pathway to the top 15 ladies receiving LPGA Tour cards at the end of the season. So get out there and watch some high-quality golf. Support the ladies of tomorrow. Tickets and information available at AtlanticBeachClassic.com. That's AtlanticBeachClassic.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, JohnAutomotiveJacks.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I'm celebrating a little anniversary this week. 2 years ago, I hit my goal weight with a Waco 180. 40 pounds gone, and now I know it's not 100 plus like Hacker, but 40 was my number. That was the weight holding me back, slowing me down. And the best part? Free maintenance for life. That's the difference. I didn't do it with meds, didn't do it with side effects, didn't rely on a shortcut that I had to stay on forever. I did it with a plan, awesome coaching, and learning how to eat in a way that actually works in real life. Awaken 180 knows you travel, knows you eat out, knows you have cravings. A real-life plan for real-life people. Maybe your number's 25 pounds. Maybe it's 40 like mine. Maybe it's over 100 like Hacker. Whatever your number is, we're proof you can reach it and keep it off without putting something in your body you don't want there. Awaken 180 works. Get your number at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you're listening to 1010 and you're a parent, chances are your kids are playing sports. Check out i9sports.com with spring and summer registration open right now. In the gym or on the field, and now at Tocoi Creek High School and Westside Middle. Check it out, i9sports.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Hall & Sons Plumbing. 46 long years after the United States finally brought home the gold medal on the ice, defeating Canada 2-1 in overtime yesterday, with the golden goal coming from Jack Hughes. It closed out an incredible performance by the U.S. in the 2026 Milan Winter Olympics as the Americans leave Italy toting their highest medal count with 32 total and 11 gold. It's 51 degrees at 5 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Welcome back to The Frangie Show. We've got Jamal St. Cyr with us, sitting in for Frank Frangie, who's on vacation this week. JJ is here. I'm Hayes Carlion. Who's your favorite comedian?
My favorite comedian?
Putting you on the spot here a little bit.
A little bit. I was just watching the Cat Williams' new special.
Okay. Is it good?
Oh, hilarious.
Okay.
I was dying. I was absolutely floored.
Cat Williams, by the way, has one of the best bits about Jacksonville.
He does. He does.
It's phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, it's worth 5 minutes of your time.
Who would you say, JJ? Who's your favorite guy?
I love Patrice O'Neal. He's been dead for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
But he was my favorite. I would say right now, Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
He came to Jacksonville. It's crazy how big his career's taken off. Like a couple years ago, me and Dylan Denmark went to go see him at the theater, and it was packed. Last year, we saw him at the arena.
Wow.
And it was sold out. He broke like all the attendance records.
How about that?
And we have another comedian coming.
We
to the
do.
arena.
There's a reason that we're asking this question because, JJ, we've got an exciting giveaway.
We do. I have a pair of tickets to see comedian Nate Bargatze, a massive star.
Massive star.
Live at ViStar Veteran Memorial Arena. That is Thursday the 26th. So be car number 4 right now at 641-1010, and I'll hook you up.
All right.
Who's yours, Hayes?
I like probably like I go back to like when I was a kid. So like all time, I'd say like Eddie Murphy.
Okay,
'Cause,
yes.
like Eddie Murphy Raw is like 90 minutes of just me rolling on the floor
Still
laughing.
phenomenal.
Still
Absolutely.
phenomenal.
Raw, delirious. I don't
Yeah.
care any of them. If Eddie's in a leather suit,
Oh yeah.
sign me up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I mean, it's and I give these guys today credit because it's hard. I mean, you go back to the 1980s and the stuff that Eddie Murphy could say and George Carlin, and I mean, it's so I appreciate the comedians that are still doing it today. And yeah, that Nate Bargatze show will be that'll be a lot of fun. Let's talk a little Jaguars. So you said you started here in 2019.
Yep.
So you've lived through some administrations that were certainly more failure than success.
The Nightmare of Urban, yes.
That's right. Well, and even like when we got into Doug was great year one. Then he started to delegate. Doug Peterson started to delegate a lot, and it really kind of felt stagnant at the end. It's hard to believe it's been pretty much a year to the day that Gladstone got hired. He was the last piece because remember he got hired and his first like availability was at the combine in Indianapolis. And so, but it's hard to believe that this new version of Jaguars football has been together for a year now. Obviously, incredibly successful results. What do you think now is a fair expectation for year two and beyond for this group?
Look, I think they've set the expectation for themselves a little bit that the floor is the playoffs, and that is kind of the expectation. And I can believe that and get behind it. Look, the question mark around this team was always, could you elevate Trevor? And that was ultimately what Liam Cohen's job was, and that's what he's done over the course of his career, is help these quarterbacks elevate. At Kentucky, it was Will Levis. He made him into a draftable prospect that ended up in Tennessee. He wasn't as good without Liam, right? He goes to Tampa Bay. He elevates Baker Mayfield. Leaves Tampa Bay. Baker has a little bit of a regression season, even if there was some other things going on there in Tampa. He comes to Jacksonville. Could he work the same magic on Trevor? Could you elevate Trevor to another level to where everybody looks at it and says, that's the franchise guy? And about midway through, we saw that light switch come on and say, there it is. He's got it. If that Trevor that we saw in the back half of the season now can sustain through a year, 2 years, this team can win the South consistently because Trevor can be that good. We've seen it. We've seen the streaks before. We saw the streak under Doug Peterson. The problem was it was sustaining the streak, and then there were injuries and other things. But if they can build this around and the weapons that they have on that offense at this point, I mean, Jacoby Myers, you look at that and say, sure-handed. Okay, perfect. Parker Washington, if he keeps getting better, Brian Thomas is still here, and he's still absolutely dynamic. I mean, for all the struggles last year, the dude's still basically built in a lab. And you sprinkle in Travis Hunter on offense, who knows? That doesn't, just because that's the plan this year doesn't mean that's the plan forever. The door could open back up where they say, look, we really need this guy at receiver. Just right now, they don't. They don't, because the receiver room's pretty stacked. So I think the floor is the playoffs, and they're trying to figure out how you can elevate and make the changes you need to make so where you aren't a one and done. And that's the name, because you never want to get stuck in that spot. Those teams that get stuck there forever, it gets old quick. You're one and done, one and done, one and done. Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, we saw it for Cincinnati for several years under Marvin Lewis.
Yeah.
They would always make the playoffs, but they'd lose the first game. And yeah, it was in terms of Liam, was there a moment last year for you in the season, whether it was a win or something that kind of affirmed for you? Because, first time head coach. I mean, we didn't really know what to expect. And, but obviously he was runner-up for Coach of the Year and had a tremendous case, so did a fantastic job. But was there a moment for you with this group that you were like, man, these guys have a chance to really be, legitimate here?
I don't know if there was just a one moment. I think it was a little bit of a piece-by-piece cases. When, like, you hear, and you're at all these press conferences, you hear the guys talk, you hear Trevor Lawrence talking all the time, but when he says things like talking about the offense and says, this one gives me all the answers, this one's different from every offense I've been in. I don't have to read between the lines there. He might not even realize he just gave us like a breadcrumb of, oh, okay, this is a little different situation now. Okay, huh. And I think the San Francisco game, not the fireworks after it, but
that's the one for me.
Going out there and beating the 49ers. That's something that the Jaguars historically have struggled to do. We know the 49ers are a really good football team, and you don't have to think that far back. What was it, 22? When San Francisco came here and absolutely just dismantled the Jaguars? Yeah. So
they beat the 17 team senseless in San Francisco.
So it's not far history where the Jaguars have struggled to hold up against a really well-built San Francisco team, but they went out there, took care of business. So that was the kind of moment where you say, oh, all right, maybe this team is legit. Maybe the Jaguars are onto something here, and it just kind of came together.
I thought it was really cool what the Jaguar Digital tweeted out early last, so I guess it was about a week ago today, of Liam Cohen. It was only like a 55-second clip, but it was him addressing his assistants.
Yeah, the one at the table.
Yeah, and he talked about, like, we've got to now, year 2 is the year, because year 1's great. We've laid the foundation, wonderful. But year 2 is where we now have to separate further. And he directly said, we don't want to be another one-hit wonder. We know that happens a lot in this league. I thought it was really smart of him to put that out there.
More head coaches have won a Super Bowl in their second year of their tenure than any other year. So I don't know if he knows that stat or knows that this is the striking point.
That's a fun fact.
But that's a fun fact. I had the number pulled at one point, but more coaches have won in their second year than any other year of their tenure. So this is the point. This is it, where you kind of had a little bit, and all right, we had some magic year 1. Now you got to find a way to build off it. You were able to keep your 2 coaches. That's your big offseason addition. Keeping Grant and keeping Coach Campanile, that's huge for this team from a consistency standpoint. I mean, think about some of those guys on the defense, like Antonio Johnson. Started his career under Mike Caldwell. Switches to Ryan Nielsen. Switches to Coach Camp. He could have been on defensive coordinator number 4.
Wow.
You want to talk about how tough it is for a guy to consistently develop when you're constantly learning a new scheme. And sometimes it's not reinventing the whole world, but it's this defensive coordinator wants me to take this step first or play this first, and it's just slightly different, and I just got the other way down. So it's tough. So that consistency, that's your splash offseason move for this team, was re-signing both of those guys. Everything else is probably going to be small fish unless they can go and surprise everybody and get the splash Max Crosby trade or something.
What do you feel about the Max Crosby trade possibility?
I think it's tough. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's one where I just think it's going to be real tough to pull that off. If they pull that off, there's going to be something where it's going to be 50-50 on people love it and 50-50 on people hate it, because they're going to have to give up a lot to get him. Like, the Raiders aren't just fire sale in this guy. If it's me, I'm going for the teams like maybe Cleveland if they're ready to go in a fire sale. Miami's already kind of started their fire sale. If I can go and get somebody from there that can help me out, maybe a Zach Zeiler, their defensive tackle down in Miami kind of guy, I can live with that. It's just a nice little boost addition, and then try and figure out some other stuff. Or if you want to go get real aggressive in the draft, go get me Caleb Banks. We can talk. I can live with that.
Be interested to see where he falls, because that's going to be one where he didn't play a lot this past season. He was able to return from the, I believe it was a foot injury. Was able to return late in the year, which I give him credit for. But, I mean, you're seeing, and then he was in the Senior Bowl participating in those practices. But you see a big range for him, and you would think at that premier of a position that somebody is going to take him probably higher than maybe what we anticipate. But yeah, to your point, if he somehow is there at 38 is what I would guess. The Jaguars' first pick is around like 56. So, I mean, probably hard to get all the way back into the first round. But yeah, that kind of a player, I think, would make a lot of sense, because they have 11 picks, and there's no chance 11 guys are going to make the 53.
They don't need to use all those. They are going to have to get aggressive and go get their guys. And if they can go get it, this defensive tackle class has a lot of guys that, I mean, for comparison, are more similar to Devon Hamilton than to Eric Armstead. And you need somebody that can offset Eric Armstead, whether that's because you might be moving on from him to save salary, or because you need a replacement in the future, or a rotational guy. You need guys that can get after the quarterback one way or another. You can get another, nose tackle kind of guy, a D-Ham build in this draft, easy. There's all kind. I love Dominic Orange from Iowa State. Love him.
Big citrus.
I mean, come on, Citrus State.
Yeah, right.
But there's not many guys that can get after the quarterback in this draft from that defensive tackle spot, like Caleb Banks, like Peter Woods. Once you go through those two guys, you start digging into those day 3, just dart throw kind of guys, where you're like, maybe he could work out if kind of thing. So if they're going to get that help in the draft, they're going to have to get aggressive to go do it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be really interesting to see how this starts to unfold. Again, we're getting close. March 11th, start of the new league year, and that'll be our first sort of indication of do they think they can solve or which problems do they feel like they can solve in free agency prior to the draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to stay on the Jaguars when we come back. We're going to talk about Trevor Lawrence, MVP finalist. You mentioned the consistency now with Udinski staying, who a lot of people give him credit for helping unlock Trevor in that second half. Our expectations and where we want to see this offense evolve to, we'll get to that next. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
1010XL covers the Players' Championship start to finish. Track your favorite golfers and get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Green Acres Sporting Goods, Performance Painting, and Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
When you drive past a Kuhn Flowers location, did you know their inside showroom is filled with gift items? Kuhn Flowers isn't just for sending flowers. Frank Frangie here, and when I need a unique gift, I head for Kuhn Flowers, Beach Boulevard, and in Ponte Vedra since 1947. Kuhn Flowers.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Roll through the offseason with AA Automotive and 1010XL. It's a place where 300-pound linemen run faster than you and me. Combine coverage is brought to you by Window World of Northeast Florida and Holland Sons Plumbing.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent, Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number one Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
Attention skilled electricians, are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me.
pick beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday, but Jamal St. Cyr is with us today, which we certainly appreciate. Jamal, sports anchor for News for Jacks. Where can people give us a sense of your day, where people can find your work, the website, the whole 9 yards?
Hey, we've always got stuff turning over on newsforjacks.com. You can keep up with me on social media, whatever platform. It's JSTCYR TV. So wherever you're at, try and put stuff there. I mean, right now, we're kind of all twiddling our thumbs waiting for football to come back, right? But we've got lots of high school stuff that's keeping us busy. We were talking a little bit about during the break. Mandarin soccer got a big game tonight that we'll be keeping an eye on. But boys and girls soccer, boys and girls basketball, all in playoff. High school baseball is cranking up. We're getting ready for the Gate River Run, which is right around the corner. So we'll have a big broadcast for that. So we're staying busy, even though I'm still kind of fiending for a little football.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we certainly fall right in line with you on that. In terms of, looking at Trevor Lawrence now, I'll be honest, I was worried after the Arizona game. I mean, they won the game, but he almost single-handedly handed it to the Cardinals.
Right.
And I remember that week after, we were talking about the contract and when's he going to take that step, and the turnovers are just such an issue. And to his credit, from that game on, he was brilliant and was deserved his MVP finalist accolades. Unbelievable close to the season. So, in your opinion, do you now think that the Trevor that we saw in the second half is now the Trevor moving forward, or will you need to see a little bit more going into the first half of next year before you feel like, no, okay, this is a guy that you can count on, this is a star in the making at quarterback?
I think this is the guy. I think he has arrived officially, because the level that he was playing at late, we hadn't seen Trevor at that level. Even when he had been hot before, it wasn't that way. I think he has the tools around him. I think he's in the offense. And I think that Liam Cohen is the coach that's going to make sure that this thing keeps a rolling. I think Trevor's arrived. I think the expectation this year is for him to be competing, at least in the conversation for that MVP by the time it's all said and done. If this is a good year, he should at least be in the conversation. And I don't mean just on the ballot. I mean, at least get some votes this go around. And that's the expectation. I think that's the bar. Because the talent says he can be there. There's pieces around him on this offense. Look, I think he has all the tools. He always has. The Arizona game, I look at it a little bit differently, because the Arizona game, he was being aggressive, and that turned into turnovers. But that was okay in my mind, because we had seen him be a little gun shy.
Mm-hmm.
And the gun shy is what gives me pause, where it was like Sam Darnold seeing ghosts once upon a time. He's gun shy. It's open. Throw it. Mm-hmm. This one, he's ripping them, and the Cardinals defense made some really good plays along the way, and there were some decisions where maybe he was a little late getting there, and that's okay, but he wasn't gun shy. And that was all right, we can live with this. A good football team, even the best quarterbacks are going to have bad days at some point. I can survive that. It was the Raiders game where he was a little gun shy, where I'm looking at him like, man, you got guys, you got to rip this thing. If you're going to be this timid quarterback, you're not going to be the guy. You got to take some chances. So I think the Trevor that we saw down the stretch is the Trevor that's going to be here next season, and it just took a little time for him to settle into the offense.
How do you think the weapons will continue to evolve around him? We're not expecting mass personnel changes, obviously, but Jacoby Myers arrives at the trade deadline. He now has a full off season, and certainly he acclimated incredibly well. Brian Thomas Jr. still a very young player going into his third year, which used to be kind of the year for receivers to take a big massive step forward, a big leap. And then obviously you've got Parker Washington is another young player, a little older than BTJ, but going into year 4, who is coming off a sensational year, better than anybody could have dreamed of. How do you see those roles moving forward? Who do you think will be the top target guy? Who do you think will be maybe the third option?
The hard part's what do you do with BT? The playoff game is the one I keep coming back to. You got to have it, win or go home, and he played just over 50% of the snaps. That doesn't scream confidence from the coaching staff to me. They can sit there at the podium and say whatever they want. You needed to win or go home, and just about half of your offensive snaps, you left him on the sideline. And Brian is what you would build in a lab for a receiver. He's tall, he's fast, he has all the speed in the world. Did he struggle with drops last year? Yes. But is he the guy that Liam, James Gladstone envision for their wide receiver room that they have the confidence in? No idea. That's the question mark. Parker, I think, is just kind of scratching the surface. If you watched him at Penn State, the Jaguars got him on a discount because he was coming off of an injury, and he's finally he had some rookie mistakes because he was trying to fill in for a guy like Christian Kirk, timing, all these different things. Now, I talked to Parker at the end of the season. He said he would love to just go into the season for the first time knowing what his role is going to be. And he should have that opportunity this go around. Parker showed up and showed out. Jacoby is his superpowers catching passes, and that gives Trevor a safety blanket besides just Brenton Strange. I think there are tools on this offense, and we've seen what Travis Hunter can do in spurts. So I think Trevor, for the first time, really has a whole lot of dynamic pieces around him. The interesting thing, and you were talking about the Rams, and it's do everything the Rams have done here right now.
Yeah.
I call the Jaguars Rams.
What is Les Snead? What is he doing right now? We have to be doing the exact same thing.
Well, I call them Rams
What did
South
Les
all the
Snead
time.
have for lunch today?
So last year, you saw the Rams start doing more tight end sets. All right. So do the Jaguars go out and look for another tight end to add that to the formula for this coming season? Because that's kind of the thing that's getting in vogue around the league. Get these defense in their base sets, and then you have these tight ends that are enough of an athlete that you can still throw out of it. Look like you're going to run, throw, and make them adjust to you and figure it out. Because then when they adjust and go to nickel because they say you're going to throw out of it, now you run it down their throat. So do they go out and look for a tight end to pair with Brenton Strange, another big guy that can put on the other side of the line? Because we saw them go through, Quentin Morris started on practice squad. He ends up as your tight end 2 by the end of the year. Hunter Long started the year as tight end 2, ended the year being inactive for games. Johnny Muntz, he's a good tight end 3, but not much more than that. So that's one of my questions as I'm kind of looking at stuff is, all right, well, I wonder if they're going to be interested in maybe a tight end in this draft and surprise some folks and go get that guy.
I think that's an excellent point because to your point, we know that they watch everything the Rams do.
Absolutely.
And it was incredibly effective.
Mm-hmm.
You look at that Rams offense this year, and that was a consistent theme throughout. When the Rams were on national TV, the commentators would talk about, the Rams are utilizing more of a tight end heavy personnel look, and teams are really struggling to match it. Brenton Strange, I think, is phenomenal.
He's great.
Phenomenal. So you've got a great player there. I think he's going to be a Jaguar for 10 more years.
He should be.
Yeah.
They absolutely should not let him walk.
Yeah, but I do think you could see them, whether it's maybe one of the 3 third-round picks that they have or, maybe beyond that 4th, 5th round, or maybe it is. I'll tell you, a free agent, you brought up Tyler Algier, who I really like. I don't know that this guy could get paid more than what I think, but he's never really done much to warrant a huge contract, but I think he'd fit in well with the Jaguars is Chiga Kwankwo, who, for the Titans.
Yeah.
He's not a very big guy, but he is a great athlete, and he does great things when the ball in his hands. He gets yards after the catch. I think he'd be a great complement to Brenton Strange. Now, he's more receiver than he is blocker, but I've always been impressed with him. I just feel like Tennessee is just – and he's been there 4 years. His rookie contract's up. They've just never had a quarterback. Now, maybe Cam Ward will get there, but he's either had Will Levis or whoever they were playing before. I can't remember who that would have been. And then it was Cam Ward as a rookie with a coach that gets fired early in the year. So Chiga Kwankwo to me is a player that has been hurt environmentally, who is somebody that if he gets to the right system could be very good. So I like that idea of what you're saying, regardless of who it is. for that to maybe be a sneaky higher on their list of priorities than maybe what we think.
Yeah, look, I think it's something that's up there. And to your point, look, the Titans have been, I think it was Ryan Tannehill before Will Levis,
I think
right?
you're right.
And it's just been, Cam Ward didn't get a fair shake. That supporting cast around him was terrible.
Yeah.
But he's a guy, to your point, hasn't been surrounded by a whole lot of talent, could be better than what he's going to be evaluated around the league. And if you look at how the Jaguars played with the tight ends they did have last year, it at least gives you the question of, okay, what kind of tight end would they look for a guy like that? Because you remember early in the season, I think the first touchdown of the year was to Hunter Long. And he lined up out wide at receiver and runs this route and gets the pass. Great. Okay. That's not what we kind of envisioned for a tight end in a Liam Cohen offense. We understood it was a Brenton Strange type inline guy, but you have a tight end too that you start doing these things with. Okay, he falls out of favor. Quentin Morris isn't the same build. He's not the same guy. You're not splitting him out at wide receiver. You're going to leave him in line. So they do that with him more. So what's the vision is the question mark. Is it a guy like that who has the flexibility to split out wide when you want him to? Or is it another guy that you can line up in these tight sets on the end of line of scrimmage and just be able to play a little bit of power football, or at least look like you're going to play power football? So that's what I don't know. I'd love to pick Liam Cohen's brain. I mean, to Ryan O'Halloran's point, this would be the week where we get a chance to ask some of those questions of, hey, what kind of body type are you envisioning for this spot on your roster as we look forward? But no combine interviews for us this week.
No media. Nothing for you.
Nothing.
You will get nothing.
And you'll like it.
And you will like it. Oh, my goodness. What are we doing? We got 19 head coaches talking tomorrow in Indianapolis and 27 general managers, and we can't get the head coach and general manager here just to give us 10 minutes.
Come on.
I mean, what are we doing? But anyway, it's great. I'm glad they won 13 games.
They did.
That's wonderful. But, your fans are wanting more.
Build hype.
They want to know what's going on with the team.
That's what people want.
It's like you've got a great product. Why would you lock it behind closed doors and say, no, we're going to batten down the hatches?
From my standpoint, you'd think they'd want to do it because right now fans are online seeing pictures of their sections being taken out of the stadium and freaking out.
Yeah.
And you would think, no, let's get them talking about something else. Hey, we're going to put you in front of this microphone. We'll give them something else to talk about than watching their seat go away.
Exactly. I promise by Friday I will be over this. But until then, you're probably going to keep hearing the barbs because I'm still really surprised that this is the way they elected to handle it, but it's their team, and hopefully they'll have a great offseason. And again, none of us care about somebody holding a stopwatch and watching a 3-cone drill
at all.
This is about, you have a lot of interest in your team. We still don't even know Liam Cohen has finalized a staff. Like, there's things beyond what are you doing with ETN and what are you doing with Devin Lloyd. I mean, we're not expecting you to give away your hand.
No,
but just shed some light on what's been going on in the 2 months since Buffalo came in here and ended your season. But anyway, nonetheless, when we come back, we're going to talk about something that's going to put me back in a good mood, and that is the U.S. men's hockey team winning the gold medal yesterday. What an incredible American sporting moment. Just the perfect watch as a sports fan. We'll get Jamal's thoughts on that as well, and relive what was a glorious Sunday morning. We are listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Believe in the unbelievable.
Unbelievable!
1010XL.
I can't believe it! I can't believe it!
Where hearing is believing.
Unbelievable!
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Quick question. Is your plumbing company run by plumbers or by people who've never held a wrench? At Holland Sons Plumbing, the owners are plumbers themselves. We're family-owned, veteran-operated, and built by people who understand the work. No corporate nonsense, no boardrooms, no suits. Right now, we're hiring service plumbers and residential new construction plumbers here in Jacksonville. If you want steady work, a team that's got your back, and owners who know the job because they've done it, give Holland Sons a look. Holland Sons Plumbing. Local, family, real.
Football may be over, but with Hard Rock Bet, there's always something to bet on every night. Hoop, hockey, and so much more. This is Joe C. Don't forget, new sign-ups can double their winnings on their first 10 bets with a max of $50 bets. That's right, your winnings are doubled on your first 10 bets. If you would have won $100, your bet would make $200. Download the Hard Rock Bet app today. It's all waiting for you. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Nate Bargatze.
It's a lot to have two dogs because you got to open the back door and let two dogs out.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. 5-star Veterans Memorial Arena. February 26th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
Golf for a great cause. It's the UNF4 Scholarship Golf Classic, Friday, March 27th at Queens Harbor. Support the Swoop Impact Fund with a sponsorship or foursome. Contact jc.wegner@unf.edu.
We love talking sports on 1010XL, and I-9 Sports loves giving kids the perfect way to grow up playing the game. Spring and summer registration going on right now. Log on to i9sports.com to see all they've got to offer for kids ages 3 and up. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay. Sign up now for spring and summer. Great new locations added like Tofoy Creek High School and Westside Middle. Get your kids in the game with I-9 Sports. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount at i9sports.com.
Hacker here. We're rolling towards March, and for most people, that just means better weather and more golf. For me, 2 years ago, this time of year was a life changer. Honestly, it felt like a lifesaver. That's when I started Awaken 180, and in 1 month, I was down 35 pounds. 2 months, 50 pounds. And no, it wasn't magic. It wasn't some miracle shot. I tried the meds. I tried the cutting carbs. I tried convincing myself I was fine. None of it stuck. Awaken 180 wasn't a trick. It was a solution, a real plan, a coach who didn't let me drift, and the weight just melted off. That's the only way I can describe it. And here's the best part that matters. It stayed off. I'm not bracing for it to come back. I've kept my 122 pounds off for well over a year, and it stayed gone. Have 35 to lose? Cakewalk. 50? Simple. If March for you is just another month, fine. But it could be your turning point. It was mine. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, GarageDoor911.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
The golden moment today, we went to Indianapolis to speak with Ryan O'Halloran, columnist of the Florida Times-Union. Ryan gave us some great insights about what to expect this week up in Indianapolis in terms of the storylines. It's going to be interesting to see. Tomorrow, obviously, most of the head coaches speak. I think it's 19 head coaches at the podium tomorrow in Indianapolis and 27 general managers. The Jaguars not included in that, unfortunately. But Ryan gave us some good stuff, so we certainly appreciate that. And I'm interested also in the division, just seeing what, the Texans, Colts, and Titans, they're going to speak in Indy. Right. And it'll be interesting to see, the tidbits of where their off seasons are headed.
Yeah, because there's questions about all those teams. I mean, he talked about it a little bit earlier when we talked to Ryan about the Colts and their quarterback situation. Daniel Jones, the high that was before he got hurt. And then, there's the questions about Anthony Richardson's futures there in Indianapolis. And honestly, for the Texans, is their quarterback situation solid?
Yeah. What do you think happens with Stroud? What would you do?
They're in a tough spot. That I almost feel like I'd apply a little pressure. I'd go and try and find at least something as a stopgap, as a backup quarterback that could give me something if he keeps playing the way he was playing, because he was not playing well.
No,
it's been a conundrum around him. Like that first year,
great as a rookie,
he was great, and something's rattled his confidence. Whether it's the bad offensive line that was around him, something has shaken him to the point where it's like, all right, does he need to step away? Has he lost it? Because he's not confident out there. He's not letting it rip. So the problem is, where do you find that guy that you can say, okay, well, at the very least, I got this guy behind him that can come in. I mean, we've seen Andy Dalton do that for Carolina. He did that in New Orleans the year before that. I don't know that Andy Dalton's the guy that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside as my safety net, but they got to go find somebody at least because D'Amico Ryans ain't exactly on like solid terms. If they keep washing out and your quarterback's not looking good, his job's going to be up for somebody else.
Well, and they are wasting a defense that is extraordinary.
Absolutely.
And we know from that doesn't last as long. Like
No.
if you've got a great offense because your quarterback's great, you've got a decade.
Yes.
But defense, that doesn't. Those last like 2 or 3 years usually tops, and then those guys start to age or leave because obviously it's just
Can't
hard to
pay
keep a lot
everybody.
of great players. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I do want to recap the men's hockey from yesterday because I'm 49, and to me, it was one of the most extraordinary. And I'm not even a hockey fan, but one of the most extraordinary, and I mean the whole thing. You know, the celebration afterwards, everything that went along with it. Did you watch it live?
Yeah,
like,
I
what was
watched
your
it live.
Sunday? Okay, so walk us through your Sunday morning.
I kind of got up and neandered in front of the TV. There was no drastic buildup, but I got there and was able to get in front of the television to watch this thing because I like to watch the Olympics. Like I still remember Michael Johnson winning gold medals and like that kind of ingrained in me. So I still watch. I might not watch every event. Like I'm not watching curling. I'm just not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do have lines, but for hockey, I can sit down and watch it. I know the rules. I understand this. I know most of the players. Like this is fun. So this is a big one, especially knowing like we've all seen the movie Miracle. Like it's not the exact same comparison, but this was when I felt like I needed to adjust a little bit to watch. So I watched it all, watched it live, and we're kind of going through, and I say, okay, and the drama kind of built up, and it was, I don't know. Look, this is fun. I think this is one that I know I'll remember for a long time. I think a lot of people will remember for a long time because honestly, we don't know the next time that men's hockey is going to bring home a gold medal. It's the first time since 1980. So how long is this next drought? So at the very least, we know we've seen this one. I didn't get to see the one in 1980. So I saw this one. So this is one that I feel like I'm going to be telling people about for a long time.
I think it is going to resonate for decades. I mean, again, Canada, the U.S. gets out to a 1-0 lead, but I mean, Canada really controlled the game after that. Then they missed the wide open net. And then that was when I was sort of like, because we see it in all walks of life in sports. And even though I don't watch a lot of hockey, it was one of those opportunities where you just said, wow, maybe it's the Americans' day. Yeah. You know, I mean, to not have that opportunity lead to a goal for Canada. And I thought the medal presentation was just amazing. Again, seeing the team huddle for the team picture and seeing the two kids come out, Johnny Gaudreau's 2 young children, and he obviously passed in a tragic car accident. He was struck by a car, he and his brother, in 2024. But for that team to honor his memory like that, I mean, it was just riveting. I mean, on every level that sports can illuminate the human condition, that sporting event and the celebration, the euphoria that came with it, encapsulated that more than any sporting event I can remember in decades.
Oh, it's fantastic. It was honestly fantastic. Great way to wrap up the Winter Olympics. Did you watch any of the closing ceremonies?
I didn't. I didn't watch any of the closing
I don't think you missed any. I didn't understand it. Maybe I'm not cultured enough for it. I think I was at work and I was working on something. I turned around and I look at the TV and I say, is that lady in bubble wrap?
How about when they handed in the medal, they hand out the silver to Canada and all their players are devastated, obviously.
Yeah.
And then they hand out the golds to the Americans. And then for some other reason, they went back and started giving the players this like stuffed animal.
Yep.
It was like the weirdest thing. It was like, why wouldn't you give that to them in like the locker room? You've already handed them the medal, which is sort of, the biggest thing they're here for. And
the whole thing.
I'll give them credit. There was only the one Canadian player that kind of looked at it like, what am I supposed to do with this? The other ones were gracious enough to just kind of, shake the guy's hand and say thanks and tuck it away. But I thought it was peculiar. But you get that with the Olympics. That's their cult. That's whatever it is. That's what, whether that was the IOC or Italy, they wanted to do that for them. And then they handed it off to France for the closing of the game. So, but I thought the U.S. men's hockey team, that will be something that just is remembered for a very, very long time. We throw around things like epic, generational. That was a generational sports moment for this country yesterday, and it was a pleasure to watch. When we come back, we will wrap up the Frangie Show. We'll bring in Rick Ballou. He'll tell us what to expect coming off up on Into the Night. And Jamal will tell us what to look forward to for News for Jack. So lots to get to. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oklahoma City Thunder Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the betting favorite to take home the MVP award this season. It would be his second straight MVP award, minus 145. Denver's Nikola Jokic back from an injury, plus 270. Cade Cunningham of the Eastern Conference leading Detroit Pistons at plus 650. Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs, plus 2,500 to win the MVP. And Luka Doncic, who's the leading scorer in the NBA, at plus 4,000. The Thunder are the betting favorites to win the NBA Finals at plus 130. The Denver Nuggets are plus 600, and the San Antonio Spurs and the Boston Celtics are both at plus 1,100.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010 XL.
Fall in love with a new Chevy at Nimnick Chevrolet. Now, right now, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 1.9%. Now, unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet is the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find the perfect truck or SUV at Nimnick. Remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade. So you want an even better deal? Ask about their demo models for deeper discounts. Plus, the best prices of the year are here. Look, you don't want to miss this. Shop online 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com or go ahead and visit the dealership. It's conveniently located at the corner of Park Street and Cassett Avenue. Get over there. You'll be awfully glad you did. So who's got more new vehicles at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Head to Nimnick today. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. At South State, they believe strong relationships build strong businesses. That's why they take the time to understand your goals, challenges, and vision so they can provide solutions tailored to your needs, like they've done for me for years. South State has always been there for our business and our charity. With a team you can trust and a commitment to personalized service, South State Bank is here to be more than your bank. They're your partner in business. Visit southstatebank.com. South State Bank, member FDIC.
Something new is swinging into town, and you're invited. Pine Royale Golf is celebrating its grand opening, February 27th from 11 to 3. Come tour the property, enjoy free limited play on the Trackman driving range, plus giveaways, contests, and free snacks. Dress in your best funky golf style for photos and prizes. Take a shot at the $500 hole-in-one challenge. It's golf, games, and good vibes. Search Pine Royale Callahan to learn more.
Tusk, the classic tribute to Fleetwood Mac. Friday, March 6th at Florida Theater. Playing the hits and deep cuts of Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Fleetwood Mac. An unforgettable show with the iconic music you love. On sale now at FloridaTheater.com. Don't miss Tusk. Recreating the Fleetwood Mac experience like no other.
The riders who face Daytona Supercross are built different. Withstanding the most unforgiving and grueling track is not just a point of pride, but of pure grit and determination. This battle can only be felt in person. Witness the action unfold at the only place in Florida where the biggest names will battle it out under the lights. Daytona Supercross is built different. It's built for champions. It's built for fans. The gate drops Saturday, February 28th. There's only one place to be. Secure your tickets and trackside access at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and if you think Closets by Design is just closets, you've got to see their brand new showroom at Phillips and Emerson. It's amazing what they can do. See for yourself how they custom design organization for any space. Garages, laundry rooms, bedrooms, even the man cave. It's all about smart storage that fits your lifestyle and budget. Schedule an appointment to meet with a design consultant and tour the showroom for ideas you can see and touch. Start at closetsbydesign.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
We certainly appreciate our friends at the Best Bet. This has been a fun Frangie show. Frank's not here. He's on vacation. He'll be back next week. But Jamal St. Cyr, kind enough to sit in with us today. Man, it's been fun. It's been fun. We hang out during the season, but it's been good to get your insights on the Jaguars and array of other sports topics.
Hey, appreciate you letting me hang out with you for a little bit. Yeah, this has been fun. I love talking about the Jags and sports around here, so getting a chance to hang out, it's been a blast. Relive some of the hockey stuff with the gold medal.
Oh, it's just incredible.
And talk a little bit about the combine. I'm a draft nerd, so this is right up my alley.
Yeah, I love it too. And look, they have 11 picks, so that Friday, that's going to be fast and furious if they stay where they are.
We're going to be busy on Friday and Saturday of just pick after pick after pick after pick, or trade after trade after trade.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's do this.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick, the floor is yours. Sunday morning, what was that like for you?
Just incredible. I mean, just insane. And, I think Sunday is one of the greatest days that I've had in maybe 5 years. And I had an afternoon tea time canceled from an amazing private club here in Jacksonville. I didn't even care. I was just walking around on thin air. It was such a great moment for the country and for that hockey team. Something that people forget, that hockey's had a lot of problems over the years with a lot of different areas. They fought hard about 4.5 years ago in the CBA, both the United States of America and Canada. Remember, they took 12 years off. They fought to put that in the CBA. They wanted to represent one another in the Olympic Games. The owners aren't big about this, and Sidney Crosby is a good example why. But the players, it meant that much to them that they actually put something in where, they're making millions and millions and millions. This is basically for free. It's for pride. And they put that in and responded, but I think a lot of people may forget that was actually part of the collective bargaining agreement. And best part of it is Canada's the better team. Absolutely, they are the better team. But the United States of America, they had the puck bouncing their way, 18 for 18 in penalty kills.
Yeah.
How about the special teams with the United States of America? It was just insane. It was just incredible. And I'm so happy. I really am. Kind of blown away now a day later where everyone's, making it political and taking sides. I thought sports could get us away from that. At least it did for one day.
Yeah.
It did for one day.
Yeah, and it was just remarkable. I honestly, I think it's one of the most iconic American sports moments that we've had, certainly in the last 25 years.
Right.
I mean, I don't think anybody is going to forget about this moment and this team and what they accomplished. I'm not even, as you know, I'm not even a huge hockey fan, but you couldn't help. And the emotion.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just incredible the way it played out. And to your point, Canada really dominated the majority of the game. But
Canada's got the top 3 players in the world, and they were out there when that goal was scored.
Yeah.
A gamble by Cole McCarr to pinch. And, you just look at what Hughes did. He slowed down McDavid, got the puck, beat McCarr when he pinched, got it to Orzinski, who fought off McKinnon, slid it back over to Hughes for the game winner. I mean, he made 3 huge plays in a matter of about, 10, 12, 15 seconds, however long it took for that to take place. And how about bringing out Johnny Gaudreau's kids after the fact?
I'm crying.
I mean,
it was one of the most emotional things I've seen in a sports arena.
Think about being with your brother, getting ready to go to your sister's wedding and be hit and killed by a drunk driver. That's
So
what happened
tragic.
to the Gaudreau family.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
and his
just
parents
amazing.
were there.
Oh, they were crying. They were all teared up.
Yeah.
It was a very, very emotional day. It was just a great day for the United States of America. So we're going to do that. I'm going to bring Dave Campo on. I haven't had Dave with me for probably 6 weeks to 2 months. So I got a couple of questions for him about the Combine and about the Jags, but really excited about tonight's show.
Awesome. We'll be listening. Into the Night with Rick Ballou up next. That's going to do it for us. Jamal, thanks so much, man. This was really fun.
Appreciate
Enjoyed
you having me on.
Yeah. Look forward to the next time.
Deal. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Hacker will be with us tomorrow and for the rest of the week as Frank's on vacation. Again, just a magical, magical day for the men's hockey team. And congratulations to all involved. That's going to do it for us. Rick Ballou up next. For JJ, for Vacationing Frank, for Jamal, I'm Hayes Carline. Have a wonderful night. You're listening to 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
She's here? Where is she? Singing along to every word at the top of her lungs.
And what does that have to do with anything?
It has everything to do with anything.
Lauren Brooks.
I'm just getting started.
Afternoons 2 to 4.
Gosh, you're an upbeat lady.
On 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and